Move over, Swanson. I'm driving.
Wow!
Hey, Smails! My thing is bigger than your whole boat!
Welcome back to the Caddyshack Minute. This is the podcast where we watch and discuss and make little figures out of the film Caddyshack 1 minute at a time. My name is Tom Taylor, and I'm joined today, as usual, by Mike DiMaria.
I have to laugh. Because I've out-finessed myself. Even.
Exit stage right.
Exit stage right, even.
And we're also joined by Dan Lewis.
Some people just don't belong.
My dad never liked either of you. We are here to discuss minute 74 of Caddyshack, which begins with Judge Smails telling Ty Webb that he and Ty's father built this club, and ends with Carl making plastic explosive animals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We get highs and lows in this minute. You know me. You'll know where my trajectory is. Excuse me.
Jeez.
I'll cut that out. Probably won't. I eat dinner right before we do the show, and so like it just activates whatever grossness is going on. Yeah, I have a phlegmy buildup every time I eat food.
Couldn't stay away from the nuts again.
I like this minute a lot. I like most of this minute a lot. I like almost all of this minute.
A lot.
The Ty and Smail stuff is awesome.
It's really good.
This is maybe the best. I don't know, but
I know what you're going to say.
Excellent Ty Webb.
I was going to say, you know what? He seems pretty human here, like a decent guy. Like
yeah,
you see that Ty is possibly a decent guy and maybe one of the heroes of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you haven't seen that before. Before he's just been kind of a. I mean, my God, we were in his house for like a week and a half, and that was boring as hell.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Dan had a good point last, I don't know, maybe last minute or something, that Ty Webb, when he's sort of the I don't know, I forget how you phrased it. It's on tape somewhere. You can go back and listen to it. But just that, like here, he's not trying to be cool. He's not being cool. He doesn't think that he's cool right here. He's not trying to be cool. He's the scruffy sort of, almost kid-like guy in this group of like stodgy men.
When he's, I believe it's when he's flawed. When he's self-deprecating, when he's just a bumbling guy with like this obvious underlaying of talent and charisma. Yeah,
I'll tell you,
and there's something about
this is the fastest we ever got right into the minute.
Well, we didn't get a long meandering Mike story at the top of the show.
Yeah, do you buy any socks today, Mike?
To play us in.
Did I what? Did I buy any socks?
You must have some sort of riveting anecdote that you can regale us with. I have something I could share, actually. I made an important life decision.
You know what? We'll get to your important life decision when I say we get your important life decision. I don't pre-plan this bullshit. I don't sit down and write, I'm going to tell this story and this story and that story. So sometimes it hits me right away, inspiration. Yeah. Or sometimes it takes a little longer and I do my long stories at the end. Or I do it in the middle. Or I do it at the beginning. Or I do the whole fucking show. But don't sit here. Yeah, don't sit here and say, "Well, we didn't have a long meandering story." First of all, it doesn't meander.
That was Dan. I got to throw him under the bus now.
Well, fuck him too.
Where did that phrase come from? Under the bus.
I stand by it.
You throw him under the bus. I don't know.
Long, detailed story.
What bus?
All right,
there's details in your story.
All right, wait.
It's a life decision that I know I'm not going to stick with, but I thought I'd share it. I've decided not to smile at people anymore.
What? You decided to not smile at people anymore?
I'm not going to smile at people anymore. I'm one of those people who.
You mean first?
First. Yeah, I'll return a friendly smile. Like I'm talking about, like nameless passersby. I'm the kind of person who I see somebody coming down the street or coming down the hallway. And I'm just shy of that. I'll give him a little friendly hello and a little nod and a smile, whatever.
Okay. Did something happen?
No, nothing. No one thing happened. Just 9 times out of 10, it's not returned or not even acknowledged. Like there's no eye contact made, and I would then as soon as I pass the person, I'm like, Jesus, am I some kind of sucker or something? What am I? Why am I going to? I didn't need to smile at that person.
So it's the promise of a return. That's the reason you smile, not out of altruism and good cheer.
Well, if I do smile, that's a good point. But if I do smile at somebody.
When you're
and
smiling,
they don't return it.
Oh, when you're smiling.
Yeah, the whole world is not smiling with me because
it doesn't.
I'm smiling, But a lot of and some people are smiling. But I think the root of it is like, I think, why do I have to try so goddamn hard? I'm not going to try so hard. Like other people go through life without. Other people seem like friendly people without smiling all the time. I think there's a part of me that makes me think that I'm supposed to project friendliness, and by doing the way to do that is to smile all the goddamn time, like a fucking goon.
Well, don't force it. I think I agree with that part. I think if you want to smile, give somebody a smile. That's
I don't know. But he's saying no. I'm going to give it a break for a while. I'm going to give it a break. I do feel a bit like a sucker for smiling all the time when other people get through life without doing
cynical.
It half as much as I do.
New Tom.
It is cynical. I mean, you can't argue that it's not. But I just need to try.
Is he going to turn into the? Is he going to turn into the guy that just pees in your cornflakes in the morning? Take that.
There's only one thing. Less, there's only one thing more creepy than a big tall guy who goes to kids camp until he's like 35. There's a big tall guy who goes to kid camp until he's 35 and doesn't smile at anybody.
I was going to say that's it. Yeah, I think the only thing that keeps you out of jail and off of that, off of pictures, your picture posted in the post office, is that you do smile. Right. I wouldn't recommend you go down this experimental road, Tom.
That guy? He's a pussycat. Look at him. He's smiling.
Ebenezer Scrooge, that all started when he was about, 35, and he goes, I don't think I'm going to smile at anybody anymore. I'm not getting anything back from it. I'm not getting a return on my investment.
He was cold in his heart on the inside. I still have a joy of life and a love of my fellow man in my heart.
You're just not smiling.
I don't have to fucking wear it on my goddamn face all the time.
Yeah, I would look for at least a 9% return on this investment. 9%.
Let the smiles come to me.
Yeah, they're not.
Wasn't it Jesus who said something like, "Oh, let the children come to me"? I'm going to sit here not smiling. If someone wants to smile at me, they can come at me.
Also, you can't be a catch-all to smile. You have to diversify. You have to, smile here and there. Maybe a thumbs up over there. If you diversify, you'll get a better return.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey. It wasn't Jesus though. It was Angelello as Jesus that said it.
Okay. I always get them mixed up. Why is it?
Yeah. I think it was at the Strega Festival in Santa Croce, Italy, when Angelello as Jesus said, "Just smile. Pass a smile on. Kindness matters."
I should listen to Angelello as Jesus more often.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a T-shirt. I'm just saying that Angelello as Jesus. What does that mean? Fuck you. Well, fuck yourself.
If you have to ask, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, Ty Webb isn't. Yeah. Well, yeah. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm excited. It's a bold new adventure.
I can hear you post a picture from here.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll post a picture when this airs of Tom not smiling.
Yeah.
And we should give one
of smiling. Yeah. One of smiling.
Yeah.
And one of
here's
not.
What you're missing.
Yeah.
You heartless jackasses.
Right. Here's what you probably saw the other day when you went to the Nerdlinger Festival and saw.
I'll take a picture right now.
Yeah. Well, don't.
And here's what you're going to see in the future with Tom.
And say, who would you like to? Which Tom would you like to share an egg cream with? The smiling Tom or the non-smiling Tom?
Right.
I'll do it with like zero, as little in the background as possible.
Why are you taking a picture now?
Because it's in my heart. It's in the moment.
But there's no words.
And then people can say, "Oh, he's talking to Mike and Dan on the Caddyshack Minute while he's doing this."
Yeah.
That's a little
There, all right, beautiful.
Tom's gonna be walking around like Slugworth, just standing there like a weirdo.
Just who the fuck wants to know?
Just whispering in kids' ears, like Slugworth.
Right, exactly. I've been going to this camp for 18 years.
Yeah.
Don't drink the milk; it's spoiled.
I've been here longer than anybody. You want to go for a walk in the woods, me and you?
I know all the best spots.
Yeah, you and me were the same.
They had to be specially made.
It's the same style, the same style that Will Ferrell used in Elf, but I use them for real. Let's walk in the woods
as friends.
We'll go in as friends. We'll go in as friends. Who knows what we'll come out as?
Victims.
You're a creep.
That's my second throat clearing of the episode.
Yeah. Well.
So I noticed at the top of this minute, you get this shot from sort of Judge's over the shoulder point of view, and it's a shot of Rodney from the back, and you can just see the legs. You can see the legs twitching and the shoulders twitching.
Yeah. How could that man be at all overweight? He's never not moving.
Yeah.
He's like a perpetual motion machine.
Right. He's just always there.
Yeah.
Moving around, shaking the legs, rubbery legs, shaking the, kind of uncomfortably, like he's not comfortable in his shirt.
Right.
Yeah. And then
sensitivity.
Your father and I, we built this club together, he and I. Mm-hmm. And then you get, in this minute, the most explicit kind of thematic statement, almost like a climax of the film.
This should be in the preview.
It's always been suggested, but it's never been directly said.
My father never liked you.
Some people just don't belong.
Right.
Yeah. That's the theme.
Yeah. Theme of the movie. Some people don't belong. What Judge is going to find out that it's assholes who don't belong.
Yeah.
But I don't want to ruin the ending.
Yeah.
Right. Some people may not have seen this.
But it includes two characters named Moose and Rocco.
Mm-hmm. There's Moose and Rocco, and there may or may not be a checkbook. We don't know.
Right. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
And they're both
up in the air.
And they're both wearing slacks. Tough guy slacks with a polo.
Yeah, those the black slacks.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they sell those anymore.
Yeah.
You got to go to I used to get that kind of stuff. I used to do a lot of shopping over at the Value Village, over on 9 Mile and Losser there, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant over here.
7 in Losser.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Go to Value Village. I'd go in there and just, I'd get those shiny white shoes that that Chevy Chase wears or that Randy Quaid wears in the Vacation movie and
Christmas
with the tassels.
Yeah, I just used to. I like to try to wear weird clothes to school because you couldn't. You had the suit and tie kind of look, and it was my way of rebelling.
Oh, there you go. Oh, so you'd wear the suit and tie, but you'd add some flair.
I would add flair because it was a way of a way of not following the rules in spirit.
Yeah,
you couldn't get in trouble because you did have a blazer on.
Yeah, you follow the rules and you're just rubbing it in their face that you're circumventing them.
Right, exactly.
I had a tie pin that said "fuck off."
Yeah, and that was for the first maybe couple of years of school. But after that, the laziness took over, and I just kept one balled up blazer in my locker that I would just take out, and it was all wrinkled, and I would just wear the same one every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I want to say another shout out to you, listener Will from my high school, who he's chimed in a couple times, especially on the drum stuff. He did a lot of really in-depth analysis of the drum set because he is a big-time drummer, a great drummer. He, as I recall, had a suit that was all plaid, jacket, shirt, tie, everything, but all different plaids,
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but what? You know what I'm going to tell you right now? Country Day was not like, they didn't come down on you hard in that school if you broke the rules. It was still kind of like it's all fun and games, and I'll tell you why it didn't matter, because there was no religion tied to it.
Yeah, you didn't get 40 whacks from the Penguin.
Yeah, it was just a prep school where everybody, we're doing what we want to do. You pulled that shit at my high school. They had the dean had like a katana sword in his office that you just stare at when he,
right.
And he was like a black belt, and they'd make you dry shave if you had a 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh my God!
Oof.
Yeah,
and you had the dry
just
shave,
like Jesus would have done.
Yeah, because that was part of the plan.
God, not even John the Baptist dry shaved. He at least got into the river.
He's plucked.
Instead of detentions, we had jugs, which are justice under God.
Oh boy!
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Sounds
so you couldn't get around, and they rode you into the ground over rules because it was a men factory. We're building men here.
Right.
We're just churning out.
That was the only jugs you were ever going to get at that school. Oh boy!
No.
Up high.
They just had a shit machine that said, and just churned out men.
Yeah.
It's raining men.
We're very well adjusted men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad.
No issues.
No problems.
Yeah.
No weird. Nothing to see here. Not a million years in purgatory or anything.
You just come right out. Come right out of the conveyor belt. They put an MBA in your hand, and you go right off to Deloitte or Goldman Sachs.
Right. Beautiful.
And I came out all twisted, gnarled. Put a pair of combat boots on me, and I went right to Macomb Community College.
Yeah, they sent you the other. You kind of went off on the other track.
I was like that. The machine went and it just,
the reject. It's a reject over and over
right
again.
to the trap door.
I wonder if you, Mike DeMaria, could have possibly ended up on that track and still basically come out as the same person.
No.
Like, could you be doing a Caddyshack minute and telling the story?
Yeah, if you were working at Deloitte and Touche right now.
Yeah.
No, it'd be like American Psycho.
Yeah.
No.
Probably.
No. Oh, that's another great movie, by the way.
No, I was on. No, I could have very well gone on that. Anybody could have just. It was easy to just go on that track. I think.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have the social. I didn't have the social chops to really get in. To really get in with the people I had to get in with there to go down that path.
Yeah.
I spent too much time home alone in the basement. Playing the drums and.
Yeah,
doing whatever I did.
Return of the Black Wizard.
Yeah, making.
That's a very interesting
movies.
thing that happened there, Mike. Too maladjusted to become a self-centered, megalomaniacal, vain asshole.
Yeah, I was a complete social misfit, and I think that actually saved me in a sense.
Undesirable.
Social undesirable. Me.
Have we posted that yet? We gotta do that.
I was just gonna say, I don't think we have.
No, we'll
talk about it constantly. We haven't
find
posted it.
You know what was great about? You know what was great about that? It was like, it was a time when movies were very straight-laced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a formula to it, kind of like Kubrick's first, or Spartacus, very straight-laced, very Hollywood. Right. But then you had the kill. I think he was in The Killing too, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in The Killing. Now he was like that. What was his name?
Tim Carey.
Tim Carey. And he kind of had like a John Turturro look, right? A little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah, a little
bit.
Like
if they ever did a movie about the life of Tim Carey, they would be obligated to have John Turturro.
In there. Right. Okay, but my point being is that he was like, if you watch the movie, even, Paths of Glory, which is a very like, it kind of borderlines like a Hollywood movie. But then you have this, it's very epic. But then it has this character that's kind of like a Steve Buscemi type character, like actor.
Yeah,
like someone who has these like beatnik chops, and he's kind of like, he's like an alternative actor in a sense, like a guy who
he's just off. Something's off about him,
but in a good way. Yeah. He's doing it purposely. He's like he's like a character actor of maybe in like a like a Steve Buscemi role, or he's in like a Jim Jarmusch movie or something.
It's a really weird part.
And you see him, and it's like it's almost like he's in a time machine. Like he's like one of these like these modern actors who's kind of playing a very interesting off kilter role, but in a
quirky role was not a thing yet.
No,
that was like the first one I can think of.
And that helps me frame it. He's like a time traveler as an actor. Like he's this quirky actor in a very almost that could be like a Hollywood straight laced almost epic movie.
Right.
And it's like, was this even invented then? Was this
really
even a
weird
thing?
That's the genius of Kubrick. I mean, he throws that in there. It's amazing.
But it's what that makes me think of? I have a similar reaction to, and I'm in no way like a Russian literature scholar at all. I can barely name like the authors or anything. But when we would read that stuff, like we read that stuff in grad school together, and
Nikolai
it always
Gogol
struck me. Yeah, all those guys, Gogol and. I'll stop naming them.
Dostoevsky.
Because I ran out of them. But like all their stuff was like super weird and cool. And if you handed it to somebody without a cover on and said, "Oh, here, this whack job out of college in 2008 just wrote this thing,"
right?
It's super cool, and everyone's going nuts about it. You'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it's really cool!" But it was like like 1850 or something.
Yeah. People in the
it's like really like modernly weird and cool.
Yeah, and that's like Gogol's The Nose. Was it that the one we read?
The Nose. And the Overcoat, the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, the Overcoat. And they were just these very bizarre.
But they would do like these tricky things that were like kind of almost self-indulgent or something.
No,
was that like cool?
Was that like born out of just like the atmosphere that they grew up in, or was it like part of like the Russian school of literature?
That's a good
question. I always got the impression that it was like, oh, here's this brilliant guy like writing by himself in a room, and he's surrounded by a lot of bullshit, and so he's just gonna have a ball, like writing about that bullshit in like a way that kind of, by being so smart and so interesting and so cool, he's sort of giving the middle finger to. But also in
a semi-absurdist way, like an absurdist in a little sense.
Yeah. I can't think of any examples, but I want people to know what I'm talking about.
Well, The Nose, Gogol is a good example.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of very fragmented and kind of, but extremely like airtight literature. Like they knew their chops. Like they knew how to do it.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, maybe you'll remember this. No one knows what I'm talking about. No one else remembers this, but maybe you were in this class with me. But we read something by one of those guys. Excuse me. I'll start over. We read something by one of those guys,
Edit that out.
and it was a letter to his brother-in-law telling him that the letter receiver's sister, the writer's wife, had turned into a tiny porcelain doll, and she had chipped a little bit, and he needed to borrow some glue.
Yeah. I don't remember the name.
I have no idea who wrote it, but like that kind of thing. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? That's so, like the whole letter's like, sometimes I'll layer in my really long beard, and I'll kind of like pass her from hand to hand, but in my beard and stuff, and it's really cool. But anyway, like a piece of her chipped off, so I need to borrow some glue. And that was like this short story. I'm like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing I've ever read.
Yeah, I remember that stuff. Because I remember specifically talking about it. You said Pat in his beard. But I have no recollection of the story.
Right.
Oh, I'd like to read that. You guys, let me know what that one is.
Yeah, somebody find out what that is and tell us.
Will do.
Will do.
I just feel sick about the whole thing.
You're the prince of empty promises.
You're the
king of empty promises. Another example is that's very like The Master and Margarita. It's a Russian novel about the devil, and what it was the inspiration for Sympathy for the Devil, the Rolling Stones song.
Oh, cool.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Greatest rock and roll band in the world.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best songs
you can talk
ever
about
written.
your Beatles all day long and your Beach Boys and all that, but nobody rocks like the Stones.
As long as they're alive, rock and roll will never die.
But the story, that song follows the story of this Russian novel. It's extremely cool novel.
What's it called again?
Master and Margarita.
All right.
And it's very fucked up. It's kind of like moves through time. Not through time, but it has like a dream quality, and then it follows the devil through through history.
Cool. I'll read that before I watch Port of Call New Orleans.
Oh,
we're not reading. You know what, Tom?
You got it. If you want,
I know, but we're not reading.
And then you're going to
anything.
watch it, and then you're going to go, "How did I wait to see this kind of Nick Cage poetry? This kind of intense Nick Cage?
I know
the
I'm
best
being
Nick
dumb
Cage ever."
by not reading it yet, or watching it yet, rather.
And then go watch The Boy. Did you ever see The Boy in Blue with him?
No.
It's Baby Blue. You didn't?
No.
No.
When it's like he's a rower, and it's like it's like one of his first roles that was on like HBO.
Oh boy.
No. Check it out.
He gets like a rowing
Son of a
jersey
bitch.
from somebody, makes him a rowing jersey, and it's Baby Blue, and he goes, "It's Baby Blue." And then the title is the boy in blue.
He was an absolute treasure for a long time, Nicolas Cage.
Moonstruck.
He's like the greatest thing we had going.
Yeah. It was
Moonstruck.
He was
Raising
like, I don't think
Arizona,
there is a
Birdie.
Nicolas Cage, like you said, or a Steve Buscemi, and I don't think there's the dude from Big Lebowski without Tim Curry, first kind of breaking the mold.
That's what I'm talking about.
Character.
Yeah.
He seems like a time traveler when you watch him in those movies.
Yep.
He's
Another
in
one
2
comes to
Columbo
mind.
episodes.
Is from Shadow of a Doubt, a great Hitchcock movie, is Hume Cronin.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a really weird role in that movie. Kind of a quirky, sort of like comic relief character, but
Yeah.
a little
they have that
bit
whole conversation
serious
on the
and dark.
porch about like how to kill people or something.
Yeah. It's great.
Him and Clarence from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, that's such a good movie. Both of those movies, Shadow of the Doubt. I once heard that that's Hitchcock's favorite of his movies. Either Shadow of the Doubt or The Trouble with Harry.
You know what's funny? I think every single time I have watched Shadow of a Doubt, I've fallen asleep at some point. Which is not a reflection of the movie. It's just I keep watching it in situations where I'm going to fall asleep.
It's got a kind of a slowish
But it's
quality,
awesome.
but I don't want to make it sound bad because it's really great.
Right.
But I have a favorite moment in that movie. Can I just tell you? There's a moment where they go into the bank. You know, something's not right with Joseph Cotton. We know this. Like something's a little weird. And we're getting all these little clues that Hitchcock is giving us. And he goes in there, and he's
terrible.
What's that?
I just did a terrible Joseph Cotton.
Well,
it's not even worth repeating.
cut that bit out. So
I will.
He goes into the bank and he tells his brother-in-law really loudly. He's like, "These guys are all stressers around here. You're gonna pocket $50 or what? Are you gonna, you don't know about these people, And he says, "You got to keep it down. This is a bank." And he goes, And he goes, oh, come on, it's just a little joke. And he says, well, you can't joke around here. And he goes, it's a joke to me. And then he just turns to his niece and he goes, the whole world's a joke to me. In this really, it's almost like Willy Wonka when he turns and goes, we are the music maker. It's like this very serious moment in the middle of the movie, and it's so great. He just turns and goes, the whole world's a joke to me. Oh, and you're like, awesome. This guy might be a murderer. He might be a murderer.
You know what's the best bank scene? Woody Allen.
I have a nug.
No, I have a gub.
There's also
a gub
from Take the Money and Run.
Gub.
Oh yeah.
when he writes the unclear stick-up note.
Right.
He's like, what does this say? He goes,
I have an N.
He goes, what's a gub? Oh, that's a gun, but it's spelled gub. No, I have a gun.
That's great.
Apt naturally. What does apt mean? No, act naturally. I have a gun. Act naturally. No, Bob, come over here and read this. What does this say? What is apt? What's a gub? Can we see
Bob,
your gub?
come over here and read this.
He's like, well, I'll have to get this notarized by the bank manager. Can I see your gun? He's like, yeah, here it is. He's like, okay. That's a movie we should do minute by minute. Take the Money and Run. Yeah, Virgil Starkwell. The greatest scene is when he's talking about he playing the cello, and it shows him he joined a band and it was the marching band playing cello. So he keeps running up with the chair, and as soon as he sits down, and he has to move the chair again.
That's awesome.
Oh, by the way, just to tie it together, now I'm thinking of Woody Allen short stories, which are fabulous, amazing stories.
Getting Even.
And it reminds me, that's right, and I think in that book is the one, it reminds me, he does a kind of jokes about Russian literature. Like
he does, yeah.
He does little stories that are kind of copying that kind of style, but they're done comically. Like there's the one especially where the two guys are playing correspondence chess.
Mm-hmm. Correspondence Battleship.
And so-and-so. Oh, it's just the greatest.
What about Correspondence Battleship?
Yeah, Dan.
I at least started a game of Correspondence Battleship.
Wait. We didn't tell the story on here, did we?
No. I don't know. Okay, I don't know that it's worthy of it.
No, it is, because this is when I almost where I wanted to take you and throw you
through
a
plaster wall. Go get a fudge pop, everyone.
No, go have a fudge pop.
Go with Fudgicle.
Slap a steak him on the grill.
I'm not going to tell the story.
Oh, come on.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Okay. So I found out Dan and one of his eccentric friends were playing Battleship via the U.S. mail. Via the U.S. mail. But it wasn't just like them saying, okay, here's my move. You know, it would be like someone would send like a record, an LP. And they would scratch a little like poem in the side of it, blah 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 blah, and then
that was the poem. I can't believe you remember.
And at the end would be the move, like blah blah blah, and then they would go make the move on their little board, back and forth, back and forth. And I remember I was up in that apartment of yours on Grand Avenue when I saw this. I go, "What are you doing?" And you explained it to me, and I almost like wanted to tear apart your apartment with my bare hands.
Right, because somebody was having some fun and doing something interesting.
I don't like that. It's not interesting.
We don't have that. Goddamn hipsters doing things, fun, enjoying amusement.
Everything doesn't have to be done in an artisanal way. Sometimes it's
and not everything was. This was one thing that was being done. It
was one
and we
thing
did
that
15 other things that day, totally unironically and totally unartistically, and you don't remember any of them.
I went apeshit, and I did, and he can attest. I went completely apeshit. I was like tearing at my shirt and my chest. I was beating my chest with fists. I got very uncomfortable.
You got a case of the trots.
I started pulling up my hair. And I remember because he lived in the Italian neighborhood on Grand, where there's nothing but like Diamato's Bakery and all these bakeries right out. And I drew the shades and I pulled them up. I said, Dan, this is bullshit that you're doing, sending shit in the mail, doing this fucking Correspondence Battleship. I look out there. I go, see those bakers out there, the bakeries. Every day they go to work, the bread goes in the oven, the bread comes out of the oven. Goes in the oven and it goes out of the oven, and all that while people are working and making things and building things, and you're playing this fucking game. And I lost it. I went apeshit.
Yeah.
And then many years later, the band that we're in, we put out an album, and the album was Correspondence Battleship in response to this story.
Yeah, that was great.
It is. It's Correspondence. So I you know what? I'm gonna plug it. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it live. I'm gonna do it live. I'm gonna write it, and I'm gonna fucking do it live. Everybody in the sound of my voice. Everybody in the sound of my voice. Go to iTunes. Look up the band Model N, Correspondence Battleship, and go ahead and download it. Pay the money. Pay the money. Do it. Do it. Do it live and write it and do it live. Geez. Guess what's on that album? Words are on there. There's words on it.
That was the most convoluted and plugged I ever heard in my life.
It was natural.
Beautiful.
It was natural.
It worked for me. This, by the way, is the first time I've ever heard this story with Dan present.
Yeah, it's always been.
I have never heard any pushback to the story before.
No,
maybe it's not an utter waste of time to be playing Correspondence Battleship.
I almost took apart that shitty apartment like Jonathan Winters in a Mad, Mad World. But I said the bread goes in the oven, the bread goes out of the oven.
I think I have time now to do stuff like that. I don't. I was young and I was doing fun things. And you never heard of that.
Playing Battleship in
You're
the
busy
mail.
sitting over a cantaloupe wondering where you've gone in life.
Sitting over a cantaloupe?
Yeah. Honeydew.
It's funny.
I love it when Owen's making fun of me.
It's funny that you tell the guy that just got back from safari that I sit over a cantaloupe and wonder where my life went wrong.
Your life didn't go wrong.
Damn right it didn't. And you know why? And you know why I could do such things? Because I didn't play Correspondence Battleship.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
Secretly, I want to play Correspondence Battleship. It sounds like the coolest thing.
It's fun, isn't it? That sounds like a fun idea, Tom, doesn't it?
But it would be like but they would go like this is what it was. They would go to like the thrift store or the record shop, and he would look for the most perfect ironic album to send.
No, it wasn't.
And then they would scratch a little message.
I'll tell you what that is right now.
Tell me what.
I'll tell you what it is right now.
No, stop.
He etched his play.
His play. Right, no, but he wrote something and then etched his play as part of it. What album was it? I don't remember. You tell me.
He mailed me an album, which, it's like, technically speaking, with the U.S. mail, you can put stamps on anything and mail it. As long as you put enough stamps.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So you write on a vinyl piece of vinyl record album. He puts a bunch of stamps and it's and he etches the
like not even the sleeve, just the record.
Right on the record.
Oh, it's
well, no, not on the record, but on the sleeve. I'm sorry, it's on the sleeve. Okay. But then he etched into the record his whole play. I'd like to play J4.
But there was something else on it. It was like a rambling poem, and then at the end
it was a little poetry.
His play.
The guy's a very, very good writer. Okay, so don't even. But anyway, the album was Don McLean's American Pie, which, if you know me, you know that may be the worst song ever. I hate that song.
We might be the same guy, Dan. You've said it before. I think we might be the same guy.
Yeah, we might be.
I think we're all on that.
It's the worst, stupidest song in the world.
Oh, but at least it's super long.
Yeah, but it's also long. It's like the food is bad, the portions are big. It's a terrible song, and it's all dumb. And I was trying to come up with a stand-up joke about it, actually. I was going to say this like, man, I hate a lot of popular music. Is just crap. I hate a lot of popular music. But worst of all is the song "American Pie" was a popular song. I can't believe that. It's so long and stupid. It makes me wish that plane never crashed, or it makes me almost wish that plane never crashed. I don't know. It was something like that. But anyway, American Pie, and I still have it. I still have the record.
We'll take a picture of it, post it. I'll tell you, I went apeshit that day. That's all I got to say. There's your poem, motherfucker.
That must be why I didn't remember it. Because of all the times you went apeshit.
Another day with Mike.
I went apeshit that day.
Now, I think we found Mike's epitaph.
Yeah.
I went apeshit that day. Repeated 3 times.
Yeah. No, what is it? What did I say? I said, I went apeshit that day. That's all I got to say.
That was beautiful.
1973.
Story.
Yeah.
What else, guys?
I'm going to bring it back to the minute for 1 second, if I may.
Well, yeah, we've been off it for about 45 minutes.
There's something very sincere and almost touching about Ty Webb in this scene. Am I alone?
Yeah, we already covered
that. First of all, he looks good. He's got a very nice suit on.
Yeah,
he looks
great, and he's in a position where he completely tells off a snobby douchebag Smails, and totally lets him have it. But then he's also like he's very charming about it, and for some reason there's something very like charming about him mentioning his dad. Like, my dad never liked you, which is a great line anyway. But then it just I don't know, something about the fact that he's referring to his dad. And he's probably the kind of guy who doesn't think a lot about, or doesn't project
I'll see you
a lot
too
about
on the golf
family
course.
Stuff. Right. Which, by the way, Smails sounds exactly, or Ted Knight sounds exactly like he's announcing for the Super Friends cartoon right there. I'll see you tomorrow on the golf course. It sounds exactly like the voice that you would use for that.
You get the impression his dad has passed away.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I assume.
Although he never says it, it just sort of seems like he's having a little moment of reverie about it.
He moved far away.
And I don't want to take anything away from because as another aside is that we had read that at some point, or I think it was mentioned that Doug Kenny and Harold Ramis were saying that Ty Webb is like he's like the projection of Danny into the future. Like, Ty Webb is like Danny's like choice of which way does he go with life. Is he like the eccentric, talented kid, or is he the one that's going to brown nose his way into the Judge Smails world?
Right.
And this is the big moment where Ty Webb decides to go off in the other direction.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have to say. And I don't want anything to take away from the fact that you're getting another, and I've said it 100 times, I don't care how many times I have to say it, I will get Ted Knight his posthumous Oscar.
Oh my God.
If it kills me. Because another just tour de force of incredible acting in this scene.
Yeah.
Facial expressions like no one's ever seen in their
acrobatics.
lives. Yeah.
It's like a roiling ocean, his face, as he goes through these like 15 different emotions in just a few seconds.
Right. It's like watching a master paint, just watching that face.
And then Ty tells him off and everybody leaves. Like, Judge Smails leaves his own office with his friends and leaves Ty and Al in his office. Never thought about that before.
I'm leaving my own office.
You guys stay here and drink my stuff and mess with my things.
Also, Al Czervik hears him say $40,000.
Hey, that's
so it's
great.
like he's listening the whole time, and he finally just reacts. Yeah. Although they're supposed to be having a private moment.
And you get just the beginning of his reaction to Ty saying, "My father never liked you." Like, you see the very beginning of like Al just beaming in the background.
Now, how long
before they cut away?
Now, how long does it feel since we've seen this gopher?
Oh God! You know what? It's long enough that I reacted when I saw it. Like, for this minute, I was like, "Oh my God! That's right. There's a gopher."
You forget. That's another. Forgot. Not only reflective of how you feel about the whole subplot, but also just a kind of a artifact of doing a movie minute by minute, is that you will entirely forget that subplots exist.
Yeah,
for weeks
it's been months.
At a time.
It's been months and months since we've seen the gopher.
Yeah,
literally, which is okay by me. I think it was like fall or something.
It was fall. Leaves were falling. It's been a long winter, and the gopher is out of hibernation.
Yeah, did you see his shadow? I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm okay with this scene. I think it's all right.
I probably think it's all right too.
Not great.
I guess I wish I felt like the Carl scenes didn't feel like a totally other movie. Like, the movie just stops, and then you go to the Carl stuff.
By the way, magic of editing here. The gopher sticks his head up. You cut to a shot that is sort of, we're used to this next shot being a point of view shot. Although, I guess we're probably just as used to it when it's the gopher's point of view as a human's. And you see explosives. And then you see the gopher react. So therefore, the gopher can read.
Right. He's a wily little cuss.
It's a gopher who can read and can understand hand gestures like the middle finger.
Well, he's reacting. Yeah. He's reacting to his words too. Maybe more in the next minute, but
so he understands English.
That's true. Understands English, can read.
Oh yeah.
It's a good gopher when it comes down to it.
Yeah. He's got some
quality, high quality gopher.
Mm-hmm. He's essentially a cartoon gopher, even if he's live action. He's a live action puppet. But, a cartoon
he's a gopher
will pick up on all sorts of stuff.
He's a gopher right out of Russian literature.
That's right. He's wise beyond his decades.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Oh, there it is. Hey, listen.
Oh, what about trivia?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
man. Oh, well,
all right.
I guess we have to do trivia, but
I thought Jimmy was on vacation.
Okay, I'm just going to pretend that I have the box. Because I still don't know where the box is, but I'm going to pretend that I have it. I'm like, oh, here's a card. It's a par 4.
Oh,
lovely.
Okay, here's the first question. I got to think on my feet because I don't actually have a card in my hand.
Oh, I could do like a random question.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You don't have the cards ready?
I don't. I keep
what's
forgetting.
Danny's baby brother's name? Who's in the kitchen?
God.
We going back to?
He did. Did he actually name any of those kids?
She says his name.
There's no trivia.
The baby, the actual baby.
There's no trivia.
Are you getting your card out right now? Because that's a time killer question.
He doesn't know where the box is. He's given up.
You don't even have the box?
Okay, wait. Give me 1 second. I'm taking off my headphones and going to the other side of the room.
Oh, Jesus. This is a seriously unprofessional crap. So, Mike, what do we have to say about this tall, lanky, longshanks, nerdy, this galoot moron? What do we have to say about this guy?
It speaks for itself.
Which guy would that be? All right.
Oh, there you are. We were just talking about you.
Who doesn't smile anymore, mind you.
Yeah.
I'm not smiling now.
The one good thing about him is gone.
All right. Question number 1.
He's just a big, tall, angry goon that just clears his throat all the time now.
Yeah.
Try clearing your throat all day
that guy with a smile.
Not smiling. Forget about it.
Yeah. Then you sound like you're mad and you're trying to get people's attention and you'd like them to get out of your way all the time.
Me. The social undesirable. All right. Who did Han Solo insist hurry up lest he become a permanent resident of the crumbling Hoth base?
That's the wrong movie, Tom.
Oh.
I think
the only trivia game I could find on the shelf over there.
It has to be R2-D2, right? Or
I'm not. By the way, for the record, and honestly, sincerely, I'm not going to look at the back of the card. I want to see if I can get all these. I know the answer for that is C-3PO. I'm just going to burn through these.
Well, it's close enough.
What color does carbonite turn as it melts? It turns red. Who did Luke successfully contact using the... All right. Okay. Who did Luke successfully contact using the Force while hanging from a Cloud City weather vane?
Oh,
that's not you guys.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
They were on the Millennium Falcon. His sister.
That's right. She has a name. What's her name?
Princess Leia, you fucking asshole.
All right. Very good. I'm impressed.
I had this in a pop. I actually had this scene. I had this scene in a pop-up book, and when you pulled the string. Pull the string. When you pulled the string, he fell out of the cloud and onto the top of the Millennium Falcon.
I think I saw that.
Yes, you just.
Oh.
Take care. Beware. Pull the string. Pull the string.
Fuck you.
Hunted. Despised.
The jungle is my
jungle. Animal.
All right. What planet's outposts include Station 3-8?
Planet Nerdlinger.
I'm guessing, and I think it's Hoth. Who knocked C-3PO off the edge of Jabba's sail barge just after 3PO said, "I couldn't possibly jump"?
Oh, I think it's... Is it... Isn't it... No, I don't know who it is.
It's R2-D2.
Oh.
You guys are depressing. Although I'm impressed that Mike got that other one. This is the last one. How many rank insignia squares did General Veer's dress uniform boast? I'm going to think about this.
1, 2, 3.
Good grief. How many rank
You know what?
insignia
Set that aside and have it laminated. That is the nerdiest fucking question
That's really
I've ever heard in my life.
6.
I'm going to say 12.
Tom, you've ruined this whole thing.
I'm sorry. It was only 8. You're right. I ruined it. I'm sorry, I ruined it. Okay, next
time.
Hey,
no Jar Jar Binks
do my best to have the Caddyshack card. What? What'd you say?
Not one Jar Jar Binks question mixed in there. What gives?
No, it wouldn't be classic trilogy collector's edition Trivial Pursuit.
I thought you said Mr. Beaks.
Clarence Beaks.
Clarence Beaks.
The Orange Report.
Turn the machines back on.
It was the Dukes. It was the Dukes.
So.
Turn them back on.
All right. Well, hey, that was trivia.
All right, that was trivia.
They're musical.
Thanks, everybody.
Shout out to you.
Very musical people, aren't they?
You're very musical.
All right. Well, I think we've done a good job here tonight, guys. I think we've made everyone happy. These things always go longer than I expect them to. But listen, I'll cut this down to a nice tidy 2 hours, and then we'll be good. All right, everybody, please come back next time. We're going to talk to you next time about minute 75. It's got more clay creatures and a gopher.
Fuck you!
Who knows what else? But please come back then. And please be sure to send in your Battleship moves via the Caddyshack Minute Listeners Hole. Continue the game of life.
It's all grunge.
Hey, you scratched my ankle!